Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. This will be a short, slow flow Vinyasa practice today with the focus on strengthening the feet, the ankles, the legs, and finding some opening through the hamstrings and the low back. You may want a couple of blocks for the practice, so grab your blocks. Come and join me on the mat. Let's begin in child's pose. Your version, you can have knees wide or knees together for this. I'm going to keep my knees together so I can get a little bit more space through the low back. But you take the variation that works for you today. Allow your forehead to rest down onto the mat or make a little pillow with the arms or stack one fist on top of the other or put a block or a blanket underneath the forehead. You can take a few little wiggles here as you get yourself situated. And when you feel ready, begin to find some stillness. And just relax into your child's pose. Taking some nice, deep, smooth, steady breaths. In and out through the nose or in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just take a moment here as we begin our practice to call back all the parts of you, all of your energy that you've spread out into the world to various people and places and things, and draw your energy back to yourself. And also check in just to notice how you're doing today, how you're feeling, what's going on for you mentally, physically, emotionally, or energetically. And just being curious about where you're at today. I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice today, and to carry the intention with you off of the mat if you so choose. Let's take one more deep breath here, in through the nose and sigh it out of your mouth this time. And then begin to walk yourself up. So if the knees are wide, you can bring the knees back in towards the midline. Walk yourself back up to sit on your heels. And then for a moment, take the hands forward, tuck the toes under behind you. We'll take it into a broken toe pose. So if you need to give your little pinky toes a little adjustment, feel free to reach back. Allow them to join the party too. And walk yourself up. Maybe hands come up to rest on the thighs. If that feels okay, keep the heels hugging in towards the midline. Crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. And take a breath or two here. Just finding this opening through the backs of the feet. And then we'll walk the hands forward. And untuck the toes. We'll take it into table pose. And now extend your right leg back behind you, hip level-ish. We'll drop ball of that right foot down to the mat. Press out through the heel. Press into the hands. And just take a few gentle rocks back and forth. And then release that right knee down to the mat. Extend that left leg back behind you, hip level-ish. And then drop the ball of the left foot down to the mat. Press out through the heel. Press down and out through the hands. Then a few gentle rocks back and forth. And then release left knee back down to the mat. We'll send the right leg back behind us again. And now bend your right knee this time so your foot is pointing up towards the ceiling. Begin to gently pulse that foot up towards the ceiling. And then draw that right knee underneath the body, round up through the back, draw that knee towards nose, chest, forehead, step or grab and carry that right foot up to the top of the mat. We'll take it into a low lunge, right knee tracking over the ankle. We'll press into the feet, reach up with the arms. Take the hands down to the mat. And then just give yourself a few pulses here as you begin to pull the hips back. Coming into a half Hanuman, you can roll up onto that right heel, but then walk it forward. So we're not staying too long, just moving pretty quickly back and forth through this half Hanuman where you pull the hips back and then walk it back into your low lunge, back and forth. And then plant hands, we'll step that right leg back to where it came from. Now extend left leg back behind you, hip level-ish. Bend that left knee, plant that foot up towards the ceiling. Begin to gently pulse that foot up. And then we'll bring that left knee underneath the body. Draw that knee in towards nose, chest, forehead, round up through the back, press down through the hands, press the floor away, and then step or carry left foot up top of the mat, press down into the foot, lift up through the belly, low back sweeps up, arms sweep up, find that low lunge, and then we'll take hands back down. You can tuck back toes here if you like, and then we'll pull hips back, rolling up on the left heel, finding that half Hanuman, and then we'll take it forward, back through our low lunge a few times. Just rock yourself back and forth, just gently finding this dynamic movement, a little gentle opening through the back of the legs. And then bring it forward, back into your low lunge, plant hands, and we'll step that left leg back. Now you might want your blocks here, so just grab them, just in case, have them next to the sides of your mat. And then we'll send that right leg back again, bend that right knee, press foot up towards ceiling, a few pulses up. And then we'll draw our right knee in towards nose, chest, forehead, round up through the back, step that right foot up, knee over the ankle. And then you may want the blocks here, put the hands on the blocks. Now we'll tuck the back toes under, begin to slide the hips back, roll up onto that right heel. Now take a deep breath in, and as you do that, press that right heel down into the mat and that left knee and foot down into the mat. So really activate through the legs, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you can release that action, let it go a little bit, and fold yourself in over that right leg. Inhale, you lift up the heart, press down into that right heel, down into that left knee, left foot. And then as you exhale, release that, fold in over the right leg. One more time, lift up the heart, press down into that right heel, into that left knee, activate through the legs. And then as you exhale, release and fold over the right leg. And then walk yourself forward again into your low lunge. Now we'll take hands down to the mat. You can come up onto ball of that back foot. Begin to transfer your weight forward into the right leg and lift that left leg up and back behind you, finding standing splits. Does not have to be your biggest standing splits, no biggie here. Left toes pointing down towards the mat, belly moving towards that right thigh, drop the head down, press that left leg up and back, and then slowly Release. Ball of that left foot down to the mat, left knee down to the mat. Reach the arms up, coming back into your low lunge. And then hands down to the mat, step yourself back into your table. Other side, left leg back, bend that left knee, pulse that foot up. And then we'll draw the knee underneath the body, up towards nose, chest, forehead. Step that left foot up, top of the mat. We'll take hands to blocks, tuck back toes under. Glide yourself back, roll up onto that left heel. Deep breath in. As you inhale, press into that left heel now and that right knee, right foot. And then as you exhale, release and fold in over the left leg. Inhale lifts you up, pressing down into left foot, right knee, magnetizing that left foot back towards the right knee. And then as you exhale, fold it in. Inhale one more time, lift the heart, activate through the legs, press down through the heel. Pull that left heel back magnetically, isometrically towards that right knee or towards back of the mat. Fold it in over the left leg and then walk yourself forward back through our low lunge. Hands to the mat, and then we'll take the weight into that left foot. Maybe you roll up on the ball of that right foot. Begin to send the weight forward into that left leg and fold yourself into your standing splits. Send that right leg up and back, right hip squaring down towards the mat, toes pointing down. Again, does not have to be your biggest standing split here. And then we'll step that right foot back to the mat. Release the knee down. Reach it back up, low lunge. Hands come down to the mat. You can move your blocks out of the way for now. You may want them later. Step it back into your table. Now take it into downward dog, tuck toes under, press into hands, glide hips up and back. Walk it out, pedal out the legs. Your pace. Or find any movement you like. Listen to your body. What would your body like right now? And then roll it up onto balls of the feet. Press heels towards the mat. Roll up again, balls of feet. Press heels towards the mat. Now let's bend the knees, crouch down. Glide the hips up, down dog. Bend the knees, crouch it down. And then glide the hips up, downward dog. One more time, bend knees, crouch down. This time, when you send the hips up, send right leg up also, three-legged dog. Point that the right toes, flex the ankle, point, flex a few times. Release, right foot down to the mat, bend the knees, crouch down. Now send the hips up, send the left leg up, three-legged dog. Point, flex, that left foot. And release that foot down to the mat. Walk yourself up top of the mat. Let's find ragdoll forward fold. Hinging from hips, bring belly to thighs. Let your head go, hands to the mat or grab elbows. Shake, nod your head, maybe rock your hips or sway the hips. And then bring yourself to center, hands to hips. Soften the knees, press into the feet, lift the heart, come all the way up to stand, Tadasana. Palms together at your heart. And let's take the arms out to the sides. We're going to transfer the weight into that left foot. Roll up on the ball of that right foot. And then lift that right foot out in front of you. And point, flex this right foot. Maybe roll the ankle around in a few circles. And then release right foot down to the mat. Take the weight into that right foot. Soften through that right knee. Begin to lift that left foot. Send that leg forward. Point, flex, or circle the ankle around. Release that foot down to the mat. Weight down into that left foot now, soften into that left knee. Let's begin to draw that right knee up towards the chest. Extend that right leg out in front of you. Right femur pulls back into that hip socket, lifting through the quad, lifting up through that right heel, and then bend that right knee. Release that foot down to the mat. Take the weight into that right foot, soften through that right knee, get earthy. Roll up onto ball of that left foot. And then we'll draw that left knee up towards chest. Extend that left leg out. Pull that left femur back into the hip socket. Lift up through the quads, through that left ankle. Flex the ankle, pull the toes back towards you, and then bend that left knee. Release that foot down to the mat. So reach the arms up. Soften the knees, fold yourself in. Hands to the mat or the shins or the thighs, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. And then fold yourself in. Do that a couple more times. Bring it halfway up to that flat back. Fold yourself in once more, halfway lift. And then fold yourself in, press into the feet, rise all the way up, palms back together overhead, and hands slide back down to your heart. Let's reach arms up, fold in. Halfway lift. Now plant your hands down to the mat, step yourself back to plank. Breath or two here, pushing down through the hands, pushing out through the heels, and then give yourself a little rock back and forth here. And then release knees down to the mat, lower down, pubic bone, belly, torso, all the way down. Hug the elbows in towards the body, root into your finger pads and your toes and your pubic bone. Peel your heart up, baby cobra. And release, back down, tuck toes. Press it up and back, downward dog. Bend the knees, crouch down, send that right leg up, three-legged dog. Let's draw that knee in towards the chest as you shift forward, core plank. Step that right foot through to that right thumb. Drop that left heel to the mat. Right hip hugs back. Bend that right knee, begin to lift yourself up into a warrior one. Heart facing up towards top of the mat, pressing down through that back heel. Feeling that activation through the back of that left leg. Reach up through your fingertips, few deep breaths here. Let's take hands down to the mat, step yourself back to plank. Lower the knees. Lower it all the way down to the belly. And then we'll bring it back up, either baby cobra, or if you feel ready, you can come up into a full cobra. Release yourself back down, tuck toes. Press your hips up and back, down dog. And then we'll crouch down, send left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, shift it forward, step that left foot through. Drop that right heel to the mat, left hip hugs back, lift it up into your warrior one on this side. A few deep breaths, feeling really strong through the legs, drawing in and up through the inner legs, feeling that lift through the arches of the feet. Lift up through the belly, up through the low back, up through the armpits, the crown of the head. And then hands down to the mat, step yourself back to plank. Either lower knees down to the mat, come through your cobra, or if you like, we'll take it into a chaturanga, low push-up, and then upward dog. Roll forward on your toes, bend your elbows, lower yourself about halfway down, shoulders above level of elbows. Come onto tops of your feet. Keep thighs lifted as you pull the heart forward, upward dog. And then we'll meet back in downward dog. Step or hop yourself up top of the mat, back into a ragdoll, forward fold. Bring it halfway up, flat back. Fold yourself in, press into your feet, come all the way up. Palms together overhead, and the hands come back down to the heart. Reach the arms up. Fold yourself in. Halfway lift. Plant hands down to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. And find your flow. Or just meet back in downward dog. From your downward dog, let's bend the knees, crouch down, send left leg up. Three-legged dog, bend that left knee, shift yourself forward, core plank, step left foot through. Drop right heel to the mat. Left hip hugs back as you lift up, finding that warrior one again. We'll add on a warrior three here. So if you like blocks for your warrior three, please feel free to grab them, have them up at the top of the mat. We'll begin to take the weight forward into that left leg, lift up from the belly, and extend that right leg up and back, hips squaring down towards the mat, right toes pointing down. You can have your hands on your blocks here, or hands at heart, out to the sides, out in front. Could have hands on that standing leg thigh for a little bit of extra support. Now we'll begin to root down into that left leg. Begin to draw that right knee up towards your chest. And then extend that right leg forward. Hug that right thigh bone back. Lift up through that right leg. Bend that right knee. Now slowly, we'll begin to step the right foot back. Come on to ball of that right foot. High lunge, but keep the arms reaching forward. And then sweep the arms back along the body. And begin to bend that right knee as you lift yourself up. High lunge. And maybe you straighten that back leg here. Hands come down to the mat. Step yourself back into your plank and find your flow. Meeting in our downward dog. Same thing other side. Crouch down, send right leg up. Bend the right knee, shift it forward, step that right foot through. Drop that left foot to the mat. Hug the right hip back, lift up. Warrior one. Breath or two here. And then we'll take it forward now. Weight into that right foot, right leg. Begin to lift up from your belly and extend that left leg back behind you, finding your warrior three. You find your version with the arms, whatever variation you like here. And then we'll begin to press into that right foot. Draw that left knee up towards the chest. And then extend out through that left leg. Slowly begin to sweep that left leg back behind you. Come up onto ball of that left foot. Arms reach forward. And then arms sweep back. This nice long line from that left heel all the way up the body and out through the crown of the head. And then we'll bend that left knee. Lift the heart and the torso up. Arms reach up. High lunge. And then you straighten that back leg. Hands to the mat. Step it back to plank. Find your flow. Meeting back in our downward dog. And then step or hop up, top of the mat. Find your ragdoll forward fold again. Halfway up to that flat back. Fold back in. Press into the feet, rise up, palms together overhead. Hands back down to the heart. And let's do it again. Arms reach up. Fold yourself in. Halfway lift. Plant hands. Step yourself back to plank and find your flow. From your down dog, crouch down, send that right leg up. Three-legged dog, bend the right knee, take it forward, right foot steps through, drop that left heel to the mat, lift it back up into your warrior one. We'll take it into our warrior three. Weight transfers into that front leg. Send that left leg up and back. And then we'll slowly begin to sweep that left leg forward. Knee draws up towards chest, and then you extend out through that left leg. Find your breath, keep breathing. We'll bend that left knee. Slowly bring that left foot back, ball of the foot comes to the mat. Arms sweep forward, arms sweep back along the body. Then we'll bend that left knee as you lift the heart up, coming back up into high lunge, and then maybe you straighten the back leg. Hands down to the mat, step it back. Find your flow. Back into your down dog. And then we'll crouch it down. Left leg up. Bend the knee, shift it forward. Step that left foot through. Drop right heel to the mat. Let's lift it up. Warrior one. Few deep breaths. Bending a little deeper into that front knee. And then we take it forward again. Weight travels into that front leg. Step or hop, slide that back leg up. Warrior three. And then we'll begin to take that right knee forward, up towards chest. Extend out through that right leg. And then send that right leg back. Come up onto ball of the right foot. Arms reach up. Hands come back down along the body. And then we'll bend that right knee. Heart lifts, arms sweep back up again. Straighten back leg. Hands to the mat, step it back into your plank. Find your flow. And from your down dog, pedal out the legs again. Lower knees down to the mat. Tuck the toes under. Let's come back into our broken toe pose once more. Drawing heels towards each other. Opening through bottoms of the feet. Hands to the thighs. Or you can keep hands down on the mat for a little bit less intensity. And then we'll take hands back down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Drop over to one hip. And we'll swing the legs around. Extend the left leg out in front of you. Bend that right knee. Take that right foot, sole of the foot to that left inner thigh. Janu Shirshasana. Press down into the fingers. Reach the crown of the head up, sitting up tall. And then stay here, or begin to fold yourself forward over the left leg to your degree. Heart reaching for the toes. Back nice and long. A few deep breaths. And then slowly bring yourself up. And then we'll switch to the other side. Extend the right leg out, bend that left knee. Take that left knee out to the side, sole of that left foot to that right inner thigh. Fingers around behind you. Press down through that right heel. Pull the toes back towards you. Sit up nice and tall, and then you stay here. or begin to fold forward over that right leg. And just a few deep, smooth, easy breaths here. Heart reaching for the toes. Bring yourself back up, and then we'll extend the left leg down the mat. So both legs extended down the mat. Lift up your right bum, draw it back. Lift up your left bum, draw it back. Root down into your sitting bones. Sit up tall, fingers underneath the shoulders. And then you can stay right here, or you can begin to fold it forward. And also, if the hamstrings are still pretty tight, you could put a big or little bend in your knees here to take the pressure off of the hamstrings, the stress out of the low back. And take a breath or two here. You may find that you make a little bit of space as you're here. Maybe you can begin to work the legs towards the mat a little bit more in time, but no need to force anything at all. And then lift yourself back up. Now grab one of your blocks. We'll come down onto our back, and then we'll tuck the block under our sacrum on the lowest height. So find your way down. Lift up your hips. Tuck that block right underneath the back of the sacrum. Hands can come down to the mat face down. You could turn the palms to face up, or you could grab the outer edges of your mat. We'll bend the knees. Line the knees up over the hips, and then either stay here or extend your legs all the way up. We'll take a little supported inversion here. And take a few moments just to reverse the effects of gravity. Allow the blood and the lymph to flow from the feet, the legs, down towards the trunk of the body. And then bend your knees. Lower your feet down. Press into your feet. Lift up your hips. Pluck out your block. Drop the hips down. Take the feet wide to outer edges of the mat. And then drop both knees over to the right. And then rock the knees through center and over to the left. A couple more times. And then bring the knees back up, walk the feet back in about hips width distance. Find your way into Shavasana. And just let go. Let go of all effort. And just allow yourself to rest, to absorb and integrate the effects of this practice. Smile. Thank yourself for showing up for you. Great job, Yogi. Take one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out of your mouth. Bring your focus back to our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with ourselves. We're all doing the best we can. And you're doing it. You're rocking it. Release your hands. Slowly roll yourself over to one side. Press up. Bring yourself back into a comfortable seat. Hands together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short, slow flow practice with me. Hope it helped. Hope you enjoyed. With love and gratitude, namaste.